All right, everybody, welcome. So today is our first official video of division, and today we're going to talk about dividing any polynomial by a monomial. We've actually already been doing that a couple different ways, all right? We have been dealing with our negative exponents. So remember, if we have something like a to the negative 5 over a to the negative 7, we could use either our quotient rule or our rule of negative exponents to go ahead and get rid of the negative exponents by moving the a to the negative 5 to the bottom and making it positive, and the a to the negative 7 to the top as a positive 7. And then from there, we could go ahead and go to our quotient rule, or realize that we have 7 a's on the top, and we could write them out. We have 5 a's on the bottom. We could write them out. And we could cancel 1 in the numerator with 1 in the denominator and go ahead and get our answer. In this case, I'm going to use the quotient rule. And so I have a to the 7 minus 5. Remember, we're subtracting the exponents, which gives me a squared. I have actually just performed monomial division, monomial by a monomial. And we've been doing that for a little bit. The same idea applies if you get a fraction that looks like the second piece right here, the second example, okay? Where if I have 9x squared and 3x to the third on the bottom, I have 9, which is 3 times 3. I have x squared, which is x times x, over, I have a 3, and I have 3 x's. Of course, there's other ways to look at this, but let's look at it how we've been looking at negative exponents. And I can cancel 1 for 1. So I can cancel 1, 3 with 1, 3. Remember, 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. Same goes for our x's. So I can cancel an x here with an x here. And I cancel an x here with an x here. And in the end, on the top, I'm left with 1, 3. And in the denominator, I'm left with 1x. And as weird as it looks, we're done. So we're just simplifying the fraction. That's all we're really doing here into its lowest terms. So I could take the same idea, and I can go ahead and say, okay, I have 9x squared. And I have 3x to the third. And I could say, well, okay, well, 9 divided by 3 is 3. And x to the 2 minus 3 is x to the negative 1, which means it needs to go into the denominator. And you get the same result. All right. So what we want to do with these is we want to go ahead and, as we're doing things that are not monomials, binomials, trinomials, okay, we first want to go ahead and write our division as separate fractions. You're going to see what that looks like in a minute. And then just simplify each individual fraction separately. All right. So if I have something that's like 3x squared plus x, okay, and I want to divide that by x. My step 1 says I need to write each piece as an individual fraction. So everything here in the numerator is going to be written over the denominator. So that means I'm going to have 3x squared over x plus x over x. This is step 1. Step 2 says I need to go ahead and simplify them. Right? So I need to take each fraction and simplify it as best I can. Well, the 3x squared and the x, so I have 3x to the 2 minus 1 using my quotient rule, which gives me just 3x. So basically, the x in the denominator cancels out with 1x from the numerator. Okay. Another way we can look at this real quick is write it out. So I have 3 times x over x. And my x's, 1x cancels from the top and the bottom, leaving me with 3x. That's my first one. My second piece is just x divided by x. Well, anything over itself is equal to 1. I have to keep the plus sign, so plus 1. We're going to do just a few of these, and I'm going to let you practice. We're going to talk about it. We'll do a few more another day, so that there'll be 2 separate things, so you get a chance to play around with this just a little bit, right? So I encourage you to go ahead and try these. If you think you're fairly comfortable with it, then go ahead and watch me work them out. Otherwise, just go ahead and watch maybe the first one and then try to work out the second one. All right, so the first thing I need to do is I need to write as separate fractions. So I have x squared over x minus 3x over x. And all I want to do is go ahead and simplify each fraction, leaving my minus sign in there. Okay, so I have 2 x's on the top, 1 in the bottom. So if I cancel 1 for 1 or use my quotient rule, I'm left with just an x in the numerator. You can write it over 1 if you want. That's totally okay. And then I have 3x over x. This is already written out so I can see that my x's cancel out, leaving me with just a 3 in the numerator. And here is the result of my division. Pretty simple. Encourage you to try the next one. I'll go ahead and work it out in a second. Go ahead and pause the video. All right. So start off by writing them as separate fractions. And we're just going to separate each piece. All right. So in the first fraction, the 2's completely cancel. Applying my quotient rule, I have 3 x's on the top, 1 x on the bottom, which leaves me 2 x's in the top of a fraction. And if you want to, you can write that over 1. Plus, now I have 4 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And I have an x squared and an x, so 2 x's on the top, 1 x on the bottom, leaving me with just 1 x. So no fractions. This last one, though, is going to be a little tricky. So here I have x divided by 2x. These x's are going to cancel. But remember, when they cancel, x over x is equal to 1, which means there's a 1 here, a number 1. The 2 is in the denominator of a fraction, so it is 1 over 2. So sometimes when you use this method, you have stuff in the denominator of a fraction. That is totally okay. I'm not asking you to do anything else with this but simplify each fraction. All right, we got 2 more to do. Again, go ahead, maybe try them out before you go ahead and see me work them out. All right, so writing it out, I'm going to go ahead and have 7a squared over a minus a over a. Okay, so the first one, I have an a cancel out. Okay, so if I wanted to rewrite it, I have 7a times a over a. An a is going to cancel top and bottom, leaving me with just 7a. Minus, now remember, anything over itself is 1, whether it's a's, whether it's y's, whether it's x's, it doesn't matter. So minus 1, and we are done. So it's just simplifying fractions. This last one, let's go ahead and write it out. So I have x squared over x minus 3x over x plus 4 over x. Okay, so as long as each piece gets the denominator, we are okay. Then we just simplify. X squared over x, 1x cancels, leaving me with just x. Minus, now here my x's cancel, leaving me with just 3. And this last one, I can't do anything with it. Nothing cancels, nothing simplifies. This one just gets written as it is. As weird as it looks, that's what you need. And I am completely done with my problem. So go ahead and work on the practice. We could talk about this during class, and I will see you in the next video.